So
Bharat,
just to everyone, guys, we'll be recording the webinar, and welcome again for the Study in New Zealand webinar series part 8. Today, the institution in focus is University of Waikato, New Zealand, and campus is based in Hamilton and Tauranga. And I believe one thing which I was mentioning to all our members that Waikato is the only New Zealand university which has upped the ranking in this current 2023 ranking, which congratulations to you, Ashish. Good to get for the whole team of University of Waikato. And again, we have agency partner focus today is Medway Education. I'll introduce everyone on who are the speakers. So it'll be great if I can ask Ashish and Jagdeep to talk about yourself for 1 or 2 minutes, and then I'll give a bit of brief on that. So here you go, Ashish. Over to you first.
Thank you, Bharat. Kia ora, good evening, good afternoon, whichever part of the world you all are in at this moment. So I represent University of Waikato at the South Asia region. Been working in this sector for close to 17 plus years of experience in higher education. Apart from student recruitment, we work very closely to develop market for institutions and partnerships. And I'm looking forward to interacting with you this evening for the next 60 minutes or so. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Ashish. And again, kia ora. From New Zealand here, I can say that. Jagdeep, just brief about you and the company. It'll be helpful.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. I am from Medway Education Consultant. I'm the director here. So I will be talking from Delhi. I'm not keeping well, so please bear with me. And with regards to Medway operations, we have our head office in Delhi. We got 2 offices in Delhi, in fact, and then other offices spread across North India. We do work with some associates down south in Mumbai and other parts also. So yeah, we predominantly, do promote New Zealand education, and we do represent most of the universities of New Zealand, and do also promote government polytechnics and others. So we've been in this business for almost 14, 15 years now. We used to be part of the NZSA group, and then now we are also a part of the NZRA group, ENZ recognized agency. So this is a nomination, or this, ENZ appoints agents who basically, do qualify for the NZRA group in terms of number of applications they do and the visa success rate. So we do fit into that criteria. So we are a part of the ENZRA group also. And so Waikato, talking about Waikato, we do.
I think, sorry, I'll take a minute here because we will be going through it. It's just a 1-minute introduction, but we'll take it with Ashish, and then we'll bring it back to you. Is that okay to you?
That's fine.
Yeah, it's just because it's just I will be meaningful of time today, and will be a lot of updates will be coming in. Just one thing, yes, Jagdeep is not well, but at the same time, I know Jagdeep is expanding his operations in Middle East also. So guys, watch the space. Medway is going international too. Is that correct, Jagdeep? If I'm not wrong?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So we know offices in Middle East also. Yeah.
Great. So again, myself, Bharat, I'm based out of New Zealand, and I'm a co-founder of UniqueWay. I'll give a bit brief about UniqueWay, and then probably just jump on to Ashish for University of Waikato presentation. So guys, uniqueway.com is the open platform, which is kind of a decision-making search engine, around 34,000 programs with 100 plus institutions across the globe, and we are adding more institutions on a monthly basis. Now, just go to the website. It's a basic, simple search engine which we want to help students with. Now, ideally, what we say that when we are doing a study abroad search, the best part is that search, compare, prioritize, and then apply. And today we have one, which is a search partner. We say a university partner, University of Waikato, and when we have application partner, Medway Education. So do make sure that when you're taking a decision making, do follow the basic steps and make sure that you go well. Now over to you, Ashish. I'm closing my presentation and handing over to you.
Thank you, Bharat, for that. I'll just going to, could you just give me the screen sharing rights, please? It says host that disabled. Yeah, thank you.
My bad on that. Here you go.
No problem.
Oh, it's great to see you guys. Yeah, like I said, the audience today, we have people from India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Philippines, and I believe we have people attending from Malaysia and Singapore. So I hope so. This should be a good, nice, diverse audience for you, Ashish.
Thank you. Thank you, Bharat and Unique team to set this up. And thank you so much, Medway Education, to come on board to support the students in terms of their process of enrollment once they have show on looking at New Zealand. So I will quickly get into the presentation straight away. You already had my introduction. So welcome you again on the University of Waikato information evening today. Uh, Before I get on to the presentation about Waikato, I think it's very important for each one of you here today to understand about New Zealand. We are not of those mainstream destinations, but we are one of those very few niche countries which are unique in nature when it comes to the lifestyle, unique in nature when it comes to the living index, and definitely for international education as well. And the uniqueness the country brings in is all about that it has 8 universities. All 8 universities are ranked amongst the top 3% in the world, and they are public universities. So you can easily count all 8 universities of New Zealand on your fingers. And that's the best part about the destination. The qualifications are globally recognized. I'm sure at each stage of your journey as an international student, you say, oh, if I want to go and work somewhere else, or if I want to do my next level of education anywhere in the world, answer is yes. So if you pursue it from one of the New Zealand universities, you can jump in to go anywhere else in the world to further add on your second qualification if you feel so. As part of an international student journey, whatever stage you are in, it's important to also know, can I get into a university? How easy is the entry requirement? Do I need to attempt any competitive examinations? So the answer is no. New Zealand is one of very few destinations where the enrollment or the admit is purely based on the academic records. So how good you are in your high school, how good you have been in your undergraduate studies will determine whether you will be able to receive an admit from a New Zealand university or no. You don't need to stress over GMAT or a GRE or a scholastic admission test. You just need to focus on your studies. And if that's right, the New Zealand universities are very open to accept you in any of their qualifications. When you choose an international destination, what matters you is employment. What matters you is an opportunity to learn and gain that international exposure to skills. New Zealand gives ample amount of opportunities for international students when it comes to employment. So there are opportunities for internships and work-ex, which is in the form of part-time work rights. While you are studying, you can work for 20 hours in a week part-time, and post completion, you can work full-time as well. All of this is supported by a great minimum wage rate. So currently the minimum wage rate in New Zealand as of today is 21.20 New Zealand dollars per hour, which is a good decent amount of money to take care of your living expenses while you're still focused on jumping on to pursue your higher studies. All of this is also supported by one key reason, which is not mentioned on slide, and that is by an intention is post-study work rights. Because when you decide to pursue your study, you always have an aspiration. Does a country gives an opportunity to stay back? Does country gives an opportunity to earn and gain that international experience? So the answer to this is yes. New Zealand provides a very stable post-study work rights if students pursue a bachelor's and a master's degree. So if you do a bachelor's degree, you have a 3-year stay back option, which means you can be in the country for as close to 6 years. There 3 + 3. And similarly, if you're doing a 1-year master's program as well, you will be eligible for a 3-year stay back, which I think is a good time for you to know the culture, good time to gain that international experience for yourself, upskill yourself, and at some point of time, that opportunity can lead you for a long-term settlement as well. With all that note about why study in New Zealand, which is all very key reasons, but very important factors while you decide to choose a destination for higher study, I thought it will be good for me to connect you to that And I now jump on to University of Waikato. So as Bharat mentioned, we were one of the only universities in New Zealand this year, which has jumped by 42 places in the QS World Ranking. We are a public university which got established in 1964. We have two campuses currently. One of them is in the city of Hamilton, which is the fourth largest city of New Zealand. And the second campus is in Tauranga, which is the fifth largest city. And as of today, it's the fastest growing city in New Zealand currently. What makes us unique is our proximity and location. So all of you would have definitely heard Auckland, because when you think about New Zealand, the first thing which comes on your mind is Auckland. And because of that reason, we are very close to the Auckland city. So you're not in the heart and hustle bustle, but you're very well connected to the hustle bustle to ensure you still save on your living expenses, because living expenses in city of Auckland are quite high when you compare it to the city of Hamilton. Now, some very interesting facts about the university, which I think are very critical when you choose your university overseas as part of your study plan. We have close to 12,000 plus students currently studying with us, out of which there are 3,000 plus international students from 60 different nationalities, which means there's a diversity and ethnicity of communities on campus, which leads to a culture inclusiveness and a learning paradigm shift for the international students. As I said, living expenses are comparatively low, or it's cheaper to live in comparison to Auckland and Wellington, which makes the university very popular, with a lot of students coming in from Southeast Asia and South Asia as well. What's also important is these, what do our current students think about the university? How do they realize about their experience as well? So University of Waikato, this is of the last year at the International Student Survey, in terms of the learning experience, we've been ranked at 90.3% by the International Student Barometer, which is far, far high if you compare to the global standard of 83%. And within New Zealand, if you see, it's 86.6. So we are quite high on that parameter when it comes to the learning experience for students. Critical is engagement. So most of our undergraduate programs and quite a few of our master's program includes internship, which ensures you have a very strong industry engagement. Most of our graduates get into employment as they finish their study, and that also makes us very popular. Rankings do make a difference. I would not say that it's the only point for the students to decide, but it's also an important point to look at it. And with the University of Waikato, we are currently ranked amongst the top 350 universities in the world. So we're officially ranked as 331 to the QS World Rankings, which were announced last month. We are also a QS 5-star rated university. So we are known for the research, teaching, and a student satisfaction, and on the top of it, very strong in the mind recall of employers, which is a key factor for international students. Our business school is ranked #1 in New Zealand currently, far ahead of University of Auckland. It's a Triple Crown accredited business school, and it's also ranked amongst the 100 to 125 bracket in the world by Times Higher Education Rankings. All of this indicate the quality and the trust students have built on over the years. And to add on, one of our key alums currently is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. So if any one of you, or if some of you have heard about Jacinda Ardern, she's an alum of the University of Waikato, pursued her Bachelor's of Communication Studies in 2001. So it's been 20 years back, but she could correlate the values what university could propagate for these students. This is also a further indication of our engagement with the industry in New Zealand. So if you look at, there are organizations which are government. So there's a strong focus for research and government engagement where students get opportunities. So there is a Reserve Bank of New Zealand. There is a Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment. There is Department of Conservation. If you have heard about the world's third largest dairy farm and number one in New Zealand, Fonterra, that's there. There is a New Zealand, there are consulting firm, PricewaterhouseCoopers to a Deloitte, there are banking firms, and it's an across forte of organizations, which could be a combination of a private or a public firm. And all this is through our career services team. So the engagement which happens at the university ensures students have opportunities in the form of internship, and it also leads for them in the form of a full-time employment as well. Before I jump on to the next few slides, which talks about some of our very popular qualifications on campus, it's important for you all also to have a glimpse about the University of Waikato. I'm just going to share the sound so that you guys can hear it well. Perfect.
Kia ora mai tātou. Nau mai haere mai ki te whare wānanga o Waikato. At the University of Waikato, we are more than just a place for education. We are a community, a place of belonging and connection, a place where you matter. Ko te tangata, for the people is who we are. Our two vibrant campuses in Hamilton and Tauranga are located in New Zealand's fastest growing cities, close to beautiful beaches, mountains, lakes, and nearby cities. At Waikato, we have smaller class sizes, which means accessible lecturers. With a wide range of student support services and student clubs, you'll have fun, make new connections, and build lifelong friendships. Our flexible degree structure means you can study a broad range of subjects to create a qualification that matches your individual strengths and career aspirations. If you are passionate about planning for the future of Aotearoa, study a Bachelor of Social Science majoring in Environmental Planning and Māori and Indigenous Studies. Or if you want to make a difference to our planet, study for a Bachelor of Climate Change, the first of its kind in the world. If you aspire to be our future Prime Minister, study a Bachelor of Communications majoring in Public Relations and Political Science. The theory you learn in the classroom will be put into practice in work experience opportunities. Each year, through our extensive network and industry connections, Waikato students go on more than 2,000 work placements and internships. We support student success, and each year we offer hundreds of scholarships worth millions of dollars to fund study and expenses. Waikato has some of the most affordable student accommodation in the country, with a range of options both on and off campus. There are 3 fully catered halls for first-year students on our Hamilton campus, all a short walk from lecture theatres and the on-campus gym, shops and cafes. Our Tauranga campus has new self-catered hall and is a 6-minute walk from campus, located in the heart of the CBD. With so many wonderful adventures ahead, we look forward to welcoming you to Waikato in the future.
Great. I hope this would have enlightened you on what the University of Waikato values, proposition, and the kind of engagement we do with students on campus. With that note, let me align you towards the qualifications. We have a range of qualifications for international students to choose in from. It's not limited to a specific department. So we do have a School of Law, Psychology, Social Science, Health, Sports and Human Performance, Engineering, Computing and Mathematical Science, like one of the first universities in New Zealand to have a cyber security research lab, and the first one to even have an artificial intelligence institute. School of Education, which is kind of very popular because it's currently ranked amongst the top 200 in the world as of today, and not but least but not to forget the Waikato Management School, which caters to the business qualifications. Before I jump on to some of the qualifications, it's important to understand the entry requirements both at the undergrad and at the postgrad level. At the undergraduate level, especially for students coming in from India, if you are from a national board, we expect you to have a minimum 75% in your high school examinations. And if it's from a Maharashtra, Karnataka, and West Bengal, then it's absolutely fine. But if you're studying from any other state board in India, you need to have a minimum of 80% in your high school exam to be eligible for a direct entry into our qualifications. Since we have students attending across from different parts of the world, we do accept international baccalaureate and A levels as well. So if you are studying an international baccalaureate curriculum in India or anywhere else in the world, we expect you to have a minimum of 24 points to be eligible for a direct entry. And if it's A level, which is your outside of UK, then we expect you to have 6 points, which could be a combination of, if you get C, D, and E, C will be equal to 3 points, D will be equivalent to 2, and E will be equivalent to 1. You will still make into the program. So these are our guidelines while you choose to apply at the university, and all our, please note, we do not have any application fee for international students, so you can very well apply for the qualification. When it comes to the postgrad or at the master's level, the entry requirements are different. So students who are looking to do a postgraduate diploma or a master's degree, we expect you to complete your bachelor's degree in your home country with a minimum of B or B plus. So if you have got a B or B plus, you will be eligible to apply for any of our PG or a master's degree program at the university. What does this mean is that if your grading system can be even converted into percentage. So if you have got more than 58% in your bachelor's degree, you will be eligible to apply for the qualifications. And if your country follows a CGPA pattern, if you have anything above 5.8 or close to 6, you will be eligible for a PG or a master's application. Please note, when we use the word cognate major, we mean you should have a relevant specialization in your bachelor's degree to apply for that particular subject area of study. We do have some conversion masters where we do not need you to have a cognate major, and you can come in from any field to apply for a qualification. So we have a master's of business and management, professional accounting, masters of management in supply chain, and masters of nursing, where students from any background can apply for a master's program. And again, you need to have close to 58% or a B minus or a CGPA of 5.8 to be able to get onto the program. I did saw some initial questions on PhD. So at the university, we do have a School of Graduate Research, which manages MPhil and postdoctoral applications. Students need to have a bachelor's and a master's degree with them to be eligible to apply for a PhD program at the university. Very quickly jumping on to some of our very popular undergrad qualifications. I'm not going to get into each one of them, but I'm just going to highlight some key USPs. All our undergraduate programs include work integrated learning component, which means if you study a bachelor's degree in your final year of the final trimester, you are put into an internship opportunity, which is very, very critical when you are into that age group of 17 to 20 years. Second, it gives you a flexibility to choose your majors and minors, which is very unique to the university. So you could do a one major and a second major. You could do a one major and a two minors, and you could do a one major and one minor. What does this highlight is that if as a student, I want to study data science, but my hobby is in music, I can always do a major in data science and minor in music. If my hobby is theater studies, but I love to study finance, I can do a major in finance and a minor in theater studies. So flexibility to two subject options and interdisciplinary ones is something very unique at the undergraduate level for the international students. Qualifications like a bachelor's of business and accounting is a professional qualification. It leads you to a provisional registration with a CA Australia, New Zealand, or a CP Australia. A bachelor's of teaching, it leads to a registration with the New Zealand Teaching Council. If you see, we are one of the first universities in the world to focus on UN sustainable goals and launch a bachelor's degree in climate change as well. Most of our bachelor's degrees have an entry requirement of an English language. So if you attempt an IELTS, you need to have an overall of 6 with no band less than 5.5. We do have a bachelor's of health as well, just not mentioned, but these are the sum of it, what I've mentioned on the slide. Jumping on to our master's program, and these are very, very popular master's program. Now, if you look at the diversity of the programs, I'm just going to jump on to the ones which are very unique, like a master's of digital business. We are one of the only universities in New Zealand to offer a master's degree in this area. It's also ranked number 6 as best masters in Australasia and number 1 in New Zealand for marketing and e-commerce as well. It's a 1-year master's program, predominantly focused for students who are looking for digital strategy transformation careers. Lot of people could confuse digital business to digital marketing. Yes, it's related, but digital business is a broader word, and digital marketing is a narrow term which comes in. But digital business focuses on how would you digitally transform these strategies of the organization? How would you take them closer to consumers? How would you align them closer to suppliers? How would you implement digital technology that optimize the day-to-day operations of the organization? And that's the focus area of this particular 1-year master's program. It also comes with 2 months of an internship component as well, which is an unpaid one, but that's really helpful to engage with the industry. Now, our engineering practice program is quite popular because of the current immigration rebalance. It aligns to what are the skill sets which are in demand in New Zealand. So a master's of engineering practice is an 18 months master's degree, and it comes with 4 different unique areas of study. So you could do an engineering practice with majors in mechanical, or a majors in electronics, or a majors in civil engineering, or a majors in material and processing. New Zealand is growing, infrastructure is coming in, so the demand for civil engineer is quite high. So if you do a master's of engineering practice with civil engineering, you have a very strong path of long-term opportunities in the country. Our IT qualifications are very, very popular. So we offer MIT, cybersecurity, and even even a master's in artificial intelligence. So if you look at Masters of Information Technology, it is one of the only master's program with a New Zealand university, which comes with a guaranteed paid internship. So if any one of you choose to study an MIT program, you will be offered an internship opportunity for 1 trimester, and you can earn a stipend of up to 5,000 New Zealand dollars during your internship opportunity, which is a phenomenal amount of money. But more than that, it helps you to engage. And what we have observed from our past records, students who do MIT and wherever they do internship, majorly they are picked up for an opportunity by the same organization, cybersecurity. Most of you these days are very worried about your passwords, whether it's a banking password or a social media account. So the demand for cybersecurity expert is phenomenal in New Zealand currently. So if you do this 18 months master's program in the field of cybersecurity, you again have a very strong opportunity to work as a penetration tester, security assessor, and there are opportunities to work with Government of New Zealand as well. As I said, we also have a master's in AI. So you could do a master's of science with a majors in artificial intelligence, and that's also an 18 months master's degree. Please note, when you're applying for any of our IT qualifications, you should have a relevant computer science degree in your undergraduate studies to get onto the program. We have recently launched a program which has become very popular, and that's Masters of Nursing. And the beauty about this program is students from all backgrounds can apply. So if you are a commerce graduate, or you are a graduate coming in from an arts background but is now looking to serve the community, you can apply for our 2 years Masters of Nursing program. And this is very unique because it leads to a registration with the Nursing Council of New Zealand. So post completion of this course, you need to attempt the examination. And once you clear that exam, you become a registered nurse and you can practice anywhere in New Zealand as a nurse. This program also includes 1400 hours of a practical learning component with a healthcare center, primary care center, and a mental health care center as well, and the second year as part of the course. So very hands-on, very practical, and a course which has a very strong demand in New Zealand currently. Some of you are looking for careers in teaching, and some of you would really want to look at to communicate and put your experience of educating people, then you all can jump in to study our 1-year Masters of Teaching and Learning program. That's also very unique because it leads to a registration with the New Zealand Teaching Council. So if any one of you enroll for a Masters of Teaching and Learning program post completion, you can work with high schools as a registered teacher. And the best part is you don't need a bachelor's of education to apply for this program. So if you are coming in from any field, you have a teaching experience, fine. If you don't have a teaching experience, that's absolutely fine, but you can apply for the program of Masters of Teaching and Learning, which is offered in primary and in the secondary area, which means primary is for kids between 5 to 13 years of study, and secondary is around 13 to 18 years of study. Our law is also popular, but apart from all of this, I just want to highlight that with the business school, apart from digital business, Masters of Business and Management and Masters of Management in Supply Chain, both 1-year master's program are very, very popular because students from all backgrounds can apply, and students need not to have a specific experience. So if you are a fresher looking for a career in management, you can apply for a Masters of Business and Management at the university. If you are an engineering graduate looking for a careers in operations, you can apply for a 1-year Master of Management in Supply Chain. So there's a diversity of options available for the international students. We do have a November intake, which is not too far from today, exactly 14 weeks which are left. So you all can apply for that. Otherwise, the major intakes for university are in Feb and July, which is very common in the southern hemisphere of the world, are very different from the northern hemisphere. We do have postgraduate diploma. So if some of you feel that you just need a very specific career path on a subject area, but as I said, a postgraduate diploma will only lead you to a 1-year stay back as per the current immigration rebalance. But if you would really want to look at these, then these are very specific in subject, but very unique and very focused. So you could do a postgraduate diploma in agribusiness, for an example. You could do a postgraduate diploma in tourism and hospitality. You could even do a postgraduate diploma in cybersecurity and AI as well. We offer PG programs in more than 30 different subject areas. And again, the beauty about these programs are they don't have a research. They are very focused on thought-based platform. And last but not the least, they're quite reasonable as well. Scholarships, very important. So some of you, while you decide on your journey to study overseas, you always look at, are there any financial benefits? Are there any financial incentives? So if some of you, please note, at the university, all our scholarships are academic merit based. We do not have any automatic bursary awards yet. So if any one of you receives a conditional or an unconditional admit, you all can apply for an international excellence scholarship at the PG and master's level. And the value of the award is up to 10,000 New Zealand dollars. And if you are looking at the undergraduate level, it is up to 20,000 New Zealand dollars, which is $10,000 for the first year, followed by $5,000 and $5,000. But these are academic based. So if you're very good with your bachelor degree in India or are very good with your high school grades, you have a very strong chance to get these scholarships from the university. So we've been talking in the last 18 minutes all about academics, qualifications, scholarships, but beyond that, university also provides life on non-academic areas. So we have more than 60 plus clubs on campus, and you could become part of any one of them. If you love to be part of the swimming or a uni-rec, you can do that. If you love to be part of a club which is very unique to Waikato's esports on a competitive gaming omen, you can join any of those clubs, which will add on your life skills as well. The university has accommodations which are on campus. So if some of you are looking to stay on campus, whenever you decide to study with us, the accommodations are just 7 minutes walking distance from each department. And we do offer multiple options in the form of a catered hall where all your meals option are taken care of. But if you love to cook your own meals, then you can opt for a self-catered hall where we have a kitchen cabinet as well. And we also help students to find out homestay accommodation. So if some of you are looking to stay with a New Zealand family, just reach out to our international accommodation team. They will help you, but they could be from 25 to 30 minutes away from the university, and you might have to use a public transport while you travel to the university for your academic sessions. Before I end the webinar in terms of my presentation, I think it would be good for me to leave you with what the students think about the University of Waikato experience.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Solar from India, and I study Screen and Media Studies. New Zealand is one of the safest countries in the world today, and that's one of the reasons why I'm studying here. When I first arrived, I was dumbfounded by how huge the campus is. I think I was more impressed with my department's facilities and all the equipment that I had access to. So Waikato definitely gave me the ability to learn practically, while also rendering me the space to conceptualize my own projects with continuous support from my professors. Well, there are a ton of opportunities here in New Zealand in the field of media. Most production houses here definitely require skilled cinematographers, skilled media designers, or even directors for that matter. In fact, I myself here work as a media designer for a startup in Hamilton. Well, I would love to work for Better Digital, but in the meantime, I have been concentrating on setting up my own production house in New Zealand and working as an independent filmmaker. Absolutely love how diverse New Zealand is. I mean, since moving to Waikato, I've made a ton of Kiwi, Fijian, Filipino, Indian, and Cambodian friends. I would definitely recommend studying here. Do come and join me at the University of Waikato. Hi, I'm Nick.
Perfect. So with that, I end the session. If you would love to know more about the university, keep your eyes on the right-hand side of your slide. You can follow us at any of our social media channels, and you will be connected to the updates which keep coming in on a hourly and a daily basis at the university social media pages. So thank you very much. Happy to take up any set of Q&A.
Great. I think, thank you, Ashish. I think I can imagine the question list is crossing on 40 already. So what I'll do is that I'll open the floor. It'll be easier for to go in. And then and at the same time, it makes easier for us to go through it. Okay, so guys, I'll thank you for patience, and thank you again for Ashish for giving us such a lovely presentation. I can imagine I've been to campus a couple of times. So let's start with the questions, which is I think all students are eagerly waiting for it. Okay, we'll take first question from Ankit. It's from India. What are the opportunities of arts and art students and BBA graduate? So over to you, Ashish.
Sure, thank you. So Ankit, when it comes to arts or when it comes to bachelor's program in business, there are phenomenal amount of opportunities. It depends on what subject area you would like to get in, because when we say arts and business, they're very broader in terms of subject areas. You need to be more specific. Like when you say liberal arts or arts, you could have careers in psychology, you could have careers as social sciences, you could have careers with government, New Zealand organizations in the field of community workers, social workers. So it all depends on what subject area you are targeting. And again, when we say business, again, it's a very broader term. So you could have opportunities which is as varied as into operations to strategy to marketing to as unique as international trade as well.
I totally agree on that, Ashish. And I think, guys, some of the things are there. We will put some of the website which you can help for the career opportunities. But at the same time, yes, adding on the unique way, there are career opportunities at the same time when you see on the course options. Now, going down to Ankit, your question was, I want to study abroad, but no finance and no money to show. That's a question again. I think I'll put to Jagdeep this question. Jagdeep, you will be the right person to answer this because you know the visas much better than anyone else in this group.
See, Ankit, definitely there is a requirement of funds to be shown by Immigration New Zealand. And as per the circular or probably the checklist which is there on the immigration website, the first year funds approximately comes to around 21 lakhs. That has to be shown in the form of liquid, So liquid basically means you can avail education loan, you can show funds in terms of saving account balance, fixed deposits, GPF, PPF. You can even put a loan against property, personal loans. So these are the ways, some of the ways where you can, probably show the funding for the first year. And probably if you're looking at doing a bachelor's or probably a 2-year diploma and other stuff, the second year and third year could be shown as a payment plan. So there is, so payment plan could be in the form of recent deposits. It could be in the form of income tax returns. So a family income, you may be getting some kind of rentals. So you can show all kinds of things, and then probably, so this is about liquid assets. So I get a lot of queries about what about property and other stuff. Definitely with the new checklist and the expectation from Immigration New Zealand, I would advise students to also show, fixed assets. That is in terms of if you got properties or other stuff. So, try to show that, get evaluation from a CA. So that could also ensure probably that you have a genuine, temporary applicant who has enough incentives to come back to India. So I did mention about, sorry, Bharat, another thing. So so that every, applicant who is there in this knows so I did miss mutual fund shares and other stuff. So that is another thing which nowadays a lot of parents, they invest in mutual funds. Yes, that is also accepted. Postal deposits are also accepted, but in that case, what Immigration New Zealand looks at, they need to be disbursed into the saving account. But when you are looking at funding for the first year, but if in case you have got enough funds, if you have got other mutual fund shares, postal deposits, you can show them as payment plan as well. So that is another thing which I've covered. Yeah.
Sure. I think, guys, just to add also is that do remember that for the visa scenarios, we do recommend you can reach out to Medway Education, and there will be a lot of options there. It is not that it's limited to particular one funding only. So there are options. I think a lot to cover here will be difficult. Rahul, the question comes, I have done my master's in maths in 2019. I want to study in New Zealand. Done my IELTS, speaking 7. I think there is listening 5.5. Is it possible for me to join New Zealand topmost university with scholarship? Now, that's a good question, Ashish, for you. I believe you are in that topmost scholarship bracket, but I see the IELTS is 5.5 in one band.
Yes, so you can definitely come in. That's not a problem. And since you have done a degree in mathematics, so it will depend on if you're looking for a master's in maths. Again, you can always apply for our Masters of Science program, which also has a research focus. So which will not only limit your opportunity to employment, but it would also open your avenues for research careers in New Zealand, which are growing at this stage. As Bharat mentioned, with 5.5, that's the challenge. So you will have to either retake your IELTS or attempt a Pearson test for English, which will help you to come on board with us, because our entry requirements for master's program is overall of 6.5 with no band less than 6.
Great, thank you, Ashish. And I think we have a student from Mercy I think he's from Nigeria. Morning all, happy to be part of the webinar. What chance to stand for University of Waikato as a prospective PhD student? Now, again, I can add to that, Ashish, you're welcome to start, and I can add a few things because there are a lot of PhD questions will be all to go in one.
No problem, perfect. So when it comes to PhD, I'll just keep up 3-4 points. First thing first is that the university has a School of Graduate Research, which takes care of the PhD applications. Our PhD applications have a rolling intake. So there are 3 times of the year by which a student application is assessed. First of that is 31st of Jan, 31st of May, and 30th of September. So if any one of you are applying at this stage, it will be assessed on a cycle of 30th of September. The good thing with university is that you don't need to identify your supervisor prior submitting an application with us. You need to have a research proposal, indicate your area of research, highlighting how that research is going to add value to the university department for which you are choosing, along with research publication. So if you have written any research papers, or if you have done any research as part of your master thesis, that's absolutely fine, and to academic references. So if you have these three things in place, you can apply for the PhD application at the university. And if your application is assessed for a review, then post your first level of assessment, if it's approved, the faculty will come back to you and the university will align you to a supervisor for the further set of assessment or an interview. But the process is very straightforward. The applications are live and you need to have proposals in hand to apply for the course.
Great. I think what I'll add to this is that, guys, this process of PhD process it takes sometimes between 5 to 7 months. It is not straightforward. Are you recommending is that that you align yourself to what is happening in University of Waikato PhD or research area? And I think one question was there about the fees also. Now, PhD students pay the same fees as the domestic students, which is ranging between $7,000 to $9,000 per annum, if I'm not wrong. And it is primarily a kind of a good way of entry to New Zealand also. Ashish, any word on that? Because we will cover around 5-6 questions on this immediately.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right, Bharat, that the PhD, first thing first, is it's a domestic tuition fee, one of the very attractive reasons why a lot of students come to New Zealand. So you're right, it's close to 7,000 New Zealand dollars. There are research degree scholarships also available. So if any one of you get through with a PhD admit, you can apply for a higher research degree scholarship as well. The best thing about the PhD is these are 3-year full-time PhD qualifications. So during your course of study, you are spending a full-time research assistant or associate at the university.
Great. I think the next question was from Nagesh from Delhi. I want to know what PhD prospects in design. Nagesh, will recommend to go to University of Waikato website. I've added to that. At the same time, yes, on a unique way also, you have a lot of PhD option apart from Waikato. But the idea is that we recommend to go to university website for that. Is that okay, Ashish, with you? I just want to jump on the next question.
No, you're absolutely right. And Nagesh, School of Graduate Research has listed on all the subject areas which are offered. Design is also part of it. So don't worry.
Great. We have a question from Gopinath from Madurai, India, if I'm not wrong. Oh, sorry, Mumbai, India. I graduated in BC and I'm looking for study abroad to study PG diploma in cloud computing. I believe there's a pretty strong course in Waikato. Ashish, over to you.
Sure, thank you. So good to know that you're looking at studying in New Zealand, which is fantastic. And when it comes to cloud computing, yes, because the university has a school of computing and you can either do a PG diploma in computer science, but if you're looking for a longer stay back option, our advice would be to choose the master's program, which enables you to stay of 3 years in New Zealand. And you could do a master's of information technology, which gives you an option to choose your electives in cloud computing. And it's a program which also comes with a paid internship opportunity as well. And if you secure an offer for MIT, you can also apply for our merit-based scholarship as well. Great,
that's a lovely answer. I think we have another question from anonymous attendee. IELTS is important for working people as well who are looking for job opportunities. Again, do you want to answer this question?
Sure.
I guess this is related to work visa. I think the question is about work opportunities, I guess. So for this is for student visas. So definitely, if you're looking at applying for a student visa to New Zealand, IELTS is a requirement. But if you're looking at applying to universities, probably certain universities, they do waive IELTS. It will all depend on your academic profile, how much have you scored in English and other stuff. So it's a very generic query, I guess. But if you're looking at job opportunities, definitely it's not the right platform where you could answer this. It's only
great. No, I totally agree with that, Jigdeep. Thank you for that. Again, whoever again the person is that there are options from study to work option. Do contact Medway on that. That will be recommended. Now we have Mercy again. Mercy for a PhD question. Again, you have to apply for PhD with the university, and if you get the option, go for it. That's what again. I think we can't put an answer here for now. Is that correct, Ashish? I'm just
Yeah,
moving
no,
ahead.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely right, Bharat. So Mercy, don't worry. We do have a PhD in environment science. So just submit your application and the faculties will come back to you. Straightforward it is.
Great. We have Rajneesh from India. What documents are needed for completing a PhD? Oh, I think admission process. I believe Ashish have covered that. Guys. There is
Yeah.
overall process there. It's again one of the area which New Zealand is one of the country which gets a lot of PhD because the fees is competitive across other OECD countries. I have Sheikh Akil from India. Hello, I want to complete my graduation from New Zealand University. They are accepting gap after 12th. Now this is for Jagdeep. Will be great from your perspective.
This is again, yes, there are multiple options for to complete a graduation or do a degree level course in New Zealand. But the second part of the question, I guess, is are they accepting gap after 12? So it's another generic question. So we're not aware when did you complete your 12th, and so yes, gap could be acceptable, but you need to provide proper justification in terms of what have you done in this gap. It cannot be a gap, where you are sitting idle at home, but definitely, yes, New Zealand is a bit flexible. If you give genuine reasons for the gap, they will accept it, So, but in that case, you need to contact Midway. So get in touch with us and we'll provide you the right information.
Great. I can take some question from the chat box at the time zone. I think there was a question from Eduardo from Brazil. Could you tell me about scholarship? I'm looking for master's degree in IT, and I believe Ashish covered that in the presentation. It's around $10,000, which is one of the highest among all the universities, if I'm not wrong. So Eduardo, yes, there are scholarships. Please go and apply for it. You're welcome for it. I go to Rakesh here from India. I recently earned my MBA degree from University in Chennai. I would like to do a human resource course or degree. Ashish, over to you.
Sure. No problem. So it's a very quick answer, Rakesh. It depends on what area you have done your bachelor's degree. So if you have done your bachelor's degree in human resource or an MBA in HR, you can definitely apply for our Masters of Management Studies with majors in human resource management. It's a 18 months master's degree, which has a taught and a research component as well. But if your bachelor's degree is not related to the HR, or if it does not have the HR related subjects, then the faculty will come back to you with the other options. So if you have a relevancy of your studies in human resource, we would be very happy to welcome you for the master's program straight away.
Great. Did you want to add something on top of it for all of the candidates? Because I can see some of the questions similar to that too.
Yeah, we can, look at other questions, I think sure. Priya, I can see this question, which is actually a course, looking for a course which is in Waikato. I want to pursue a PG in digital marketing. She can definitely go for that master's in digital business.
Sure.
That's a great course for her.
I think, we're coming on that question. It's a pretty good course, and I think Ashish covered in that too. Coming back to a couple of other questions on board was that what about PG courses? Again, Gaurav, there are a lot of PG courses. Again, as Ashish said, there's 1 year post-study work right after that. We're recommending his master's to get a 3 year post-study work right, but you can still apply for post-study work right 1 year in any case. Now going down, there's a question on PhD from Neil. Neil, we have covered that PhD already. Please follow the same process. Coming down to Asai India, so does New Zealand provides post-study visa? Yes, you provide. Again, Jagdish, you want to cover the post-study work right and the green list if you want to, for all our students who are there.
So as per the rebalance document which is published and it's out there on the immigration website, basically what they say is if you do a 3 year bachelor's program, you get a 3 year post-study work visa. If you do a 1 year PG, you get a 1 year post-study work visa. If you do a master's, minimum 30 weeks, then you get a 3 year post-study work visa. And then PhD also has a 3 year post-study work visa. Other than this, I think the other programs would be the diploma programs and the graduate diplomas. So undergraduate diplomas, level 6, if the program leads to occupation on the green list, then probably you get 2 year post-study work visa if you do a 2 year course. So if you do a 1 year graduate diploma, same if that is on the green list, then you get a 1 year post-study work visa. That's all about it. So it's very clear at the moment. So green list occupations, undergraduate diplomas and graduate diplomas, still you get a post-study work visa. Other than that, bachelor's, master's, 3 year post-study work visa, PG diploma, 1 year post-study work visa.
Great. Thank you, Jaggeet, on that. I've added a green list link on to chat box for everyone. There's a question from a student, which I was reading in the chat box around the gap again. Jaggeet, do you want to cover the gap again? There was 5-year gap, and there was 2011 student or something.
Yeah, as I said before, a gap has different explanations, So we need to exactly know what do you mean by gap, because we get applications where they do have work experience, but they have a study gap. So that is fine. It is acceptable for New Zealand. If you have a study gap, but you have a work experience, good documents to show it, salary in account, that's absolutely fine for New Zealand. In fact, New Zealand does look for applications where there is a work experience element into the application. That's okay. But if you're talking about gap where you haven't done anything, sitting at home, you have nothing to, no documents to produce, then probably that is difficult. But in that case, I will say case-to-case basis. So you can get in touch with us. Let's look at your application and then we can make a decision. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Jagdeep, on that. We have Nadira from Sri Lanka. Again, chemical engineering diploma 3-year course. Can I apply top up degree program? Now, if I'm correct, Nadira, top up program is a 1-year bachelor's, what is very common in UK. Again, Ashish, I don't see there are exempted 1-year top up qualification.
No.
I think you have to apply for exemptions, which will take a bit of time on that. So again, the question came from Gopinath here. I did bachelor in computer application in 55%. I'm eligible for postgraduate now. Ashish, over to you.
Sure. So Gopinath, good to know first that you've completed your undergrad in computer application. The only challenge you have is your percentage, 55. It will be a 50% chance for you. At the university, you are eligible to apply either for a Master's of Information Technology, Cybersecurity Master, or a Master's of Science in AI. All these are very unique and different qualifications. But if you're looking for a qualification which gets you to the job market quickly, which gives you an option of elective and a paid internship, then I would advise and recommend you to apply for a Master's of Information Technology program at the University of Waikato. And we do have a March intake coming in for that particular program.
Great. I think I'll go down to Sakshi now. Could I also get details on Master of Psychology? I said, Sakshi, it'd be great to go to Waikato website. There are options which you can see if they are relevant to your outcome. Again, Ashish, is that okay to you? I'm just
absolutely
on that.
Fine.
Yeah,
I can imagine looking at the volume of questions.
These are the volume of questions coming in. We have a question from David from India.
Yeah.
What makes Waikato University different from other New Zealand universities? I think Ashish have covered in the presentation very well on that.
Yeah, but no problem. If you have missed it, David, I'll just add 2 more points. The first thing first is, as a university, our engagement with the industry makes us unique. So we are one of the very few universities in New Zealand which offer more than 2,000 plus graduate internship opportunities every year. And last but not the least, one of the very few universities currently, and at this moment ranked #1 for research for New Zealand, amongst the New Zealand universities for citations per paper. And that makes us different.
Great. I think there's a question from Mansoor Ali. Said, I have less than 7 CGPA in my high school. I'm eligible for apply for a reputed institution. I believe yes, Ashish.
Yes, absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah, and I think, guys, just to update, Waikato University also have their Waikato College, which is kind of a pre-foundation and pre-masters college, where students who are not eligible for direct masters, they can go through the pre-masters, or who can't go to bachelor's directly, there's a diploma to degree pathway there, which is again a good option for them. Then we have another anonymous attendee. He said, IELTS is 6, done graduation with non-medical 53.9, master's in maths in 2019, 60%, want to carry forward computer subject to next level. So I'm looking for computer-based diploma. Again, Jagdeep, what do you say in this? Because of your experience in the visa side.
Can you just repeat that? Sorry, Bharat. Yeah, I missed that question.
It's
busy answering, typing the answers. I couldn't hear. Sorry.
I know. I can see that you're typing, which is good. Thank you for that.
Sorry. Which is the question? Yes.
A student has done masters in maths in 2019 at 60%, graduation with non-medical with 53.9, and IELTS overall 6. What are the options for him in computer?
I think it's a little difficult profile for a master's. If he's looking for a master's program, then obviously the IELTS requirement is 6.5, 6 in each. So considering, probably, I think I would recommend the applicant to reappear for IELTS or probably PT or TOEFL, whatever exams they feel to give.
Great.
And once they
I totally agree with you.
I think they apply for masters. Looks like the academic profile looks good other than the IELTS score. So I would recommend reappearing the IELTS. Yeah.
I think the next question come to you again is Kashish Budani. I've done diploma in pharmacy. Please provide me suitable course. I think there are options which Ashish has talked about, but
Yes.
give it over to you.
Yeah, I have seen this application. So
Okay.
I think the student is in touch with Medway, and
Great.
he's got this couple of times through some other agent. And I know the problem earlier, I guess, was with regards to funds. And the applicant now has got funds. But unfortunately, diploma in pharmacy will not lead to a post-study work visa with a new rebalanced immigration policy. So applicant needs to look for some other course which is relevant and is on the green list. So probably nursing, I'm not sure about it. And probably the recent updates which you have got, there are many occupations which are being added to the green list. So I think the student needs to wait till end of this month and have the final list of occupations on the green list, and then probably we can proceed. Or the other way could be he can do a bachelor's now. If he's got funds, then the best thing would be he can enroll for a bachelor's program in healthcare or something.
I think great and good precise answer on that. Ashish, do you want to add anything on that, or shall we continue to the next question?
Sure, perfect. So Gopinath, yes, you're looking for an MIT. Absolutely, as it said, please let me know. So I've already answered your question that you have a 55%, so it's good for you to apply. And most likely there are 75% chance you should get through. So I would request you to please reach out to the Medway team. You can apply for a Feb intake for a Masters of Information Technology program because you are a BCA graduate, so good to go.
Great. I think Kashish, I think your case has been discussed with Medway, so I'll not continue with the other questions. I have Santosh Damala from Nepal. I have completed my master's degree in education in year 2014. I want to double master's from New Zealand. Does my education gap affect? If no, what are the criteria? Ashish or Jagjit, anybody want to take this question on?
I think Jagjit ji can answer because it will be more about whether the visa will come through or not, because with university, we will be very happy to welcome you. You can definitely either come to us for a teaching qualification, or you can even apply for a master's in education with us. We would be happy to give you a place of offer if you are meeting the academic requirements.
I think my take would be, visa should not be an issue, considering, if you opt for a master's, which is relevant, but which is different and a progression to your previous studies, you need to be very clear about what job opportunities or benefits you're looking from doing another master's in New Zealand. If that is the case, then probably it should not be an issue, subject to availability of funds.
So I think I'll go to Vishal Patel for a PGDM course, English language requirement, 8 years of experience with sales. I think English requirement for PG is 6.5, no better than 6, but we recommend to go for a master's option, will be easier. I can say here, coming down to next, I think, Mercy, we have done a lot of questions for you. There are options there. There are scholarships there. We have Mahek Mitra Bhandari from India. What about MSc Biotechnology and Food Science Technology? And I believe Waikato don't offer that, if I'm not wrong. Is that correct?
No, you're absolutely right, Bharat. I think Jagjit or you can answer. Yeah.
I'll recommend that there are options at AUT or University of Auckland or Massey University. It'll be great if you can touch base with Medway team. They have options with all these institutions, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
great.
Correct.
Let's go to, again, Gopinath. We have done a lot of answers. I believe you are on the right hands. We'll not take further questions on that. Santosh, you've covered you. Tej, coming down to my PG score is 53, no less than 46. I completed my BCA. I will apply for diploma 1-year course in IT related. How many years of work permit can I get after completing the course?
I have responded that I have typed that answer basically.
Oh, great.
A 1-year graduate diploma. So with that IELTS score, basically we could be eligible for a graduate diploma. But there are options actually with Pathway English. University of Waikato does not provide probably that kind of options. but there are government institutions who could provide you a English pathway leading to masters also. So get in touch with us. We could provide you with options on that.
I think I can add small thing here. I know there's a PMP pre-master program of University of Waikato leading to a master's of IT. I know it's a bit expensive, but that's another option at 6 band of IELTS or equivalent score in PTE. So but that becomes a bit of expensive program, that's for sure. Coming to Nadira from Sri Lanka, diploma course in English language, and if I want to follow IELTS to English proficiency. Now, Nadira, I don't see that students from Sri Lanka primarily get a visa for study in English. So I believe you will be recommended to go for a NZCL level 4 if that's possible, or otherwise I recommend to do IELTS again in Sri Lanka. Is that correct, Ashish, for you from your
Absolutely
perspective?
right. No, you're bang on. Yes.
Great. I'll go to Amardeep Kaur from India. Sir, I've done BBA in 2016 after this.
I responded.
You responded to that. Great. If you're responding, let me know. I can stop there. Jennifer from Philippines. I have master degree in teaching.
You can, there is the answered option there. So you can look at that answered option. So I've already answered some of them.
Sure. Okay. I'll just go into that because
we can answer.
Okay.
I think there is okay. There's a question from Jennifer about
Jennifer
teaching.
from Philippines.
I'll just quickly answer that. Hi, Jennifer. So Jennifer, good to know that you've already teaching in Filipino, which is fantastic. With 8 years of experience, you can directly apply for our Masters of Teaching and Learning qualification. All good. In terms of scholarship, as I said, you have a University of Waikato International Excellence Scholarship Award. So if you receive your offer acceptance, a conditional or a formal offer letter, you can apply for the Academic Excellence Award, and the maximum scholarship which can be given to you will be of up to $10,000.
Great. I think a lot of questions on scholarship I'm just answering here because we have covered that in our previous answers. Again, for Meg Mitra, we have done the answer for you in terms of biotechnology. It'll be great to get in touch with to the Medway team. Coming down to, I think, Muhammad Mustafa from India. Again, a PhD question we have answered, mate. Kashish, we have done. Pharmacy, we've covered. I think I'm just going down. Last is anonymous attendee, Masters in HR and Finance is better option. Or Masters in HR or a Finance is better option. My bachelor's in I think bachelor's is final. I think financial, if I'm not wrong. But currently working in HR sector in Deloitte, USI. Ashish, the question was very incomplete, but I hope you can get some answer on that.
Sure, no problem. I think since you haven't mentioned your name, so don't know how to pronounce it. But when it comes to your qualification, again, if you have done your bachelor's in finance sector, so you will be eligible to apply for our Masters of Management Studies in Finance if you're looking for a taught and a research master. But if you would like, since you're already working with a consulting firm, then I would advise you to apply for a Masters of Applied Finance, which is a 1-year master's degree, which predominantly focuses on the capital market, corporate finance, and it also aligns to the international risk market framework as well. The only challenge with you is, since you are working in Deloitte in HR, would be different from what you study, but the finance, banking and consulting opportunities are great. So my advice to you would be to apply for a Masters of Applied Finance or a Masters of Management Studies in Finance with us at the business school.
Great. I think I'll go to one question of one from Mercy. Again, this is for a lot of students. And again, you are welcome to answer that. Can PhD students travel with their spouse, or even master student, can they travel with their spouse? And what's the process and how it looks like?
So I will only limit myself saying, yes, spouse gets a work permit. But if you want more answers on that, probably licensed immigration advisor would be able to, advise you in terms of what all documents are required to process the application. But there is a document in the public space where I can definitely quote, and which states that yes, PhD students can take, spouse and children with them. So definitely you can, further contact us. We will get in touch with your licensee LIA to further process your application. Yeah.
Great. We've just seen the question coming from Sahil, India. Applicant has done his BCom in 2017, 5-year experience under chartered accountant, got 6.5 band with 5.5 band in, I believe, in one module, if I'm not wrong. It can't be all modules. Jagdeep or Ashish, any options from your end?
I guess the application, Ashish, does not qualify for a master's program, but the student can definitely look for a graduate diploma in accounting or professional accounting. I still believe if you do a graduate diploma in professional accounting, considering it leads to registration, it's a professional qualification, you could still be eligible for a 1-year post-study work visa. So watch the space, get in touch with us. So probably the thing will be updated by end of this month, as I said before. But if you're looking at doing a master's in professional accounting in University of Waikato, I would advise you to improve your IELTS score. The IELTS score required would be 6.56 in each in that case. But definitely do a course. Other than that, I think the academic profile looks okay. And we haven't seen the documents. So, but the IELTS score is low if you're looking at a master's program.
Yeah.
Great. I think there was a question about Duolingo, Ashish, from your perspective. Is University of Waikato accepting Duolingo? I believe UK is accepting that.
Yes,
what about New Zealand?
So I would say it's a university in New Zealand. At this moment, University of Waikato do accept the Duolingo English language and the PTE home, the TOEFL IBT home edition as well. But please note, if any of these students are attempting the IELTS indicator, Duolingo, or a PTE or a TOEFL home-based edition test, there will be a follow-up English language test, which is conducted by the university online, which is called as a PEDA, pre-English language assessment, and that to be sure that the student is genuine and they have those right English language skill sets. But on and whole, we don't encourage students to attempt these tests. So I would still advise you to attempt, because now in India, the tests are scheduled as per schedule. COVID restrictions are off. So still, I would advise to go ahead and attempt a proper IELTS PT or a TOEFL test, please.
Great. I think, thank you, Ashish. There's one question from Gandharv for Jagdeep again. How much time the visas are taking? I believe we are recommending everyone to apply as soon as possible. Applications are opening on 1st of August. Jagdeep, any points from your end here?
Yeah, Bharat, there was a communication which we had with Immigration New Zealand with regards to processing times, and what they have advised basically is the student should apply 4 weeks, minimum 4 weeks before the start of the course. So yeah, we've seen in the border exception currently with a lot of applications getting processed under cohort 4. So we've seen some applications also, if it is a positive profile application, we have seen them getting approved even in 10 days, 10, 14 days. So it depends on the overall application also. But as per Immigration New Zealand, you need to minimum give them 4 weeks if you start applying for the from 1st August under the normal student visa category. Yeah.
Great. I think that's a very, very right way. I think there's a question from Edmolo from Nigeria, and Daniel, I've not answered this question. Daniel, he has computer science degree, but graduated with total CGPA of 1.60 and 3rd class bachelor science. I believe Ashish, he is not eligible for master's in any case, but the only option is that you can still apply for option of PMP or a kind of graduate diploma, what we've been mentioning other previous discussions, and then look forward to going into it. Is that correct, Ashish?
Absolutely right. Yes. So as a student, we have the University of Waikato College, which is very much inside the university campus. You can apply for a pre-master's program, which is a 9 months program, but it ensures you that if you get a B, it confirms your entry into a direct master's program. So if you're very keen and open to come for a master's program, just do a pre-master and you would be sorted.
Great. I think that will be the right option. Coming down, I think I've covered most of the questions, if I'm not wrong. There was one question which I've seen is Patel Nagaraju from India, MBA 2014 with 69.5, 3 years of experience in banking sector. Have you covered this question? And with experience in IT and Azure administration. Can he apply for masters? I believe yes. Again, Ashish, you may know well where the entry criteria is matching or not.
Yeah. No, I can't see his scores, but whatever
It's,
you have said, yeah.
it's in the chat box. It's in the, I have MBA 2014 with 69.5%, 3 years experience
Yeah,
in banking sector,
which is
another 3 years
fine.
in IT and Azure administration. And at
Okay,
present, I want to take course in Azure or cybersecurity. Is it a
sure.
possible reply, please?
Sure. So basically, Paritosh, if you have done your undergraduate study with a computer science background, which is either a BE computer science or a BCA, then an entry into the cybersecurity program is possible, since your MBA does not mean that you have pursued it in the field of IT sector. We cannot confirm your admit for a cybersecurity. So if you have an undergraduate degree in computer science, you will be eligible to secure your master's in cybersecurity. But if you still want to come to New Zealand, I would advise you at Waikato, we have a Master's of Information Technology program, and students from non-IT background can apply for that course. And we have a November intake, and you will be eligible to get a 16 months program, which will cover up and ensure you make a career in ICT sector in New Zealand. And also it gives you an option to select electives. And in the MIT program, you can select cybersecurity subjects as your electives as part of your course of study.
Great. I think that is very detailed answer and pretty good. I can say that. I think Rajesh from the last said that I'm postgraduate from India. I want to apply for visa. Please help. Rajesh, please contact Medway Education based out of Delhi office, and there are multiple offices across North India. It'll be, here you go. You've got the number. I was just trying to say, can you add your number and website? It will be helpful. But again, anything else which we have left in? I don't see. There are couple of 1 or 2 questions which I believe I might have missed, but if anybody have missed, you're welcome to put your question. Otherwise, thank you for joining the webinar. Ashish, any last few points or Jagit, few points you want to add here? You're welcome to add before we sign off.
Sure. Thank you, Team Unique Way, and thank you to all the attendees that you have so much patience to listen to us for a while. It's been a really an engaging session, and great to see the interest for students to choose New Zealand as their study destination. So thank you. I would advise all students to touch base with us or with the team at Medway. Medway is one of our key partners in South Asia, and they are really great when it comes to destination New Zealand. So if you're stuck, you're unsure, you know about your application assessment, your visa, just reach out to the Medway team. And in case you want more specific information or something, feel free to drop an email to the international office at the University of Waikato. Thank you very much.
Great. And Jagit, from your end, few minutes or 1 minute?
I would just add, Ashish has spoken great about everything actually, but I'll just add saying that, New Zealand has started. So it's a restart for everyone here. So this year intakes would be October, November intake. So there are a lot of options in universities and colleges. And the student visa process starts 1st of August. So 1st of August is the visa lodgement started. So students who are ready with all documents and want to apply for offers, start the visa process, it's high time you start that, because once everything opens 1st of August, there will be a backlog, I assume, because many students are waiting since more than 2.5 years now for New Zealand to open. So even that is what we experienced in the border exception cohort 4 as well. So I would advise everyone to start your application as soon as possible, so that you get your lodgements done as soon as possible. For the October, November, there is time for February, but if you're looking at this year intakes, then definitely you need to speed up the process.
Thank you, Jagit, on that. I'm totally agreed. Just to update everyone who has attended the webinar today, they will be getting a presentation of University of Waikato, and there'll be a recording of this webinar will be also sent to them. Now, yes, someone quick guy, I think somebody asked that this webinar for New Zealand. Yes, it was on New Zealand only, Rajesh, but there will be more webinars coming in line on the Unique Way Podium platform. We have a long lineup coming up for next 8 weeks, which is Australia and New Zealand webinars. But thank you for joining, everyone. Look forward to seeing you at some time. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Jagit. Thank you for spending a quite decent amount of 2 hours, which is not expected, but pretty good. I think the audience was pretty good. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great evening ahead and great.
Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank
Kia ora.
you. Bye.